Hi, my name is Mimi Diedrich, and I just finished up a course called Powerful Teaching. And it was based on the book by Hal Urban called Lessons from the Classroom 20 Things That Good Teachers Do. I found quite a few things in this book that inspired me to try and be a better teacher, and I've implemented quite a few of the things that were suggested, so I'd like to share some of those things. One of the things that I used on the first day of school was the idea of greeting each student at the door with a smile and eye contact, and then talking about creating a positive versus a toxic environment in our classroom. We talked about the golden rule, and right here behind me on my wall you can see my poster that shows all the different cultures that have a version of the golden rule in their code of conduct. And so we really enjoyed talking about those things, and how when we do follow the golden rule that we really don't need a lot of other rules, but we did come up with some classroom expectations as talked about in the book, and you can also see those here up on the wall as well, our classroom expectations. Another thing that we talked about were some specific things that we felt were toxic that we didn't want in our classroom. And we made the signs with the slashes through them as suggested by Mr. Urban. No swearing, no racial slurs, no gossip, and no put downs. They're up here on the wall right beside the clock as suggested, since everyone looks at the clock, right? I really took a lot of effort to create an inviting environment in my classroom, and kids really noticed it and felt it when they walked in. They felt like I had taken time to create a positive learning environment where they could be comfortable and where they could learn and where they could feel safe. And I made sure that they understood that as much as I wanted this to be a positive learning experience for them and a great environment for them, I wasn't going to be able to do it by myself. That was going to take a joint effort between myself as a teacher and themselves as the student. And so we did all commit to creating a healthy environment in our classroom. One of the other things that we took from Mr. Urban was the idea of getting to know the kids better, because he did mention that you could have a student all a year and not really get to know them too much or find out something important about them on the last day of school, or not even know many things about them. So I used the getting to know you. It's called Who Are You? And so here it is right here. I had the kids fill this out and complete it, and I really enjoyed reading it and finding out a lot about my students. We also had them do the 2-minute interviews, and they enjoyed getting to know each other and also learning how to just have a conversation and have kind of like a not stressful way of interacting with one another and having a reason to talk to one another in a really positive and slightly structured way. So these are some of my favorite things that I've implemented from this class, but I think the overall idea that he mentioned about what you accept, you teach, really gave me kind of like the backup that I needed to remember to politely but confidently point out things that students were doing that were not adding to a pleasant environment in our classroom, and making sure that I didn't let them think that unacceptable behavior was okay, or even unacceptable attempts at doing work were okay. In other words, I expected them to do their very best and to give me their best effort. Why not give your best? Was something that Mr. Urban mentioned. And this is something that I started from day one with my students, and when they gave me poorly completed assignments or something I could see that didn't have a lot of effort given, I gave it back to them and I gave them another opportunity to show me their best. So these are kind of the topics that I have gravitated to and I have really appreciated using in my classroom. They have already made a huge difference, and we're only in the 3rd week of school, and already I just am so energized and so enthusiastic that every day every student smiles at me at the door and greets me with eye contact and says good morning. And it does. It gives me the energy that I need to have a wonderful day. The last thing that I want to mention is starting the day with something good, starting every day with something good. So as you can see on my board, it says Good News Monday, Terrific Tuesdays, Way to Go Wednesdays, Thankful Thursdays, and Funny Fridays. And so the kids have loved coming up and sharing their good news, or telling jokes, or giving a shout out to someone in class about something good that they did that they wanted us all to know that that person did. It's just created a real sweet and positive community in my classes. And even though this is my 42nd year teaching, I have so much enthusiasm and so much energy and gratitude for the opportunity that I have to get to be a teacher and influence these young people for good. And so 220 7th graders might seem ominous and overwhelming for some people, but for me, it's a privilege, and I have really enjoyed it. And I think a lot of my joy has come from what I've learned in this class, so I really appreciate it. Thank you.